Like and subscribe might be a simple click for you, but it will lead to a transformational change of our channel. Support us to achieve 5 million subscribers by year 2028. The film begins on an unusual planet named Barsoom, which is divided into 3 main kingdoms: Helium, Zodanga, and the Tharks. Helium and Zodanga have been at war for hundreds of years. At the movie start, the Helium army, clad in blue capes, is fighting the Zodanga army, wearing red capes. Sabthan, the Zodanga general, is approached by 3 men who claim to be messengers of God, called Therns. Their leader, Matai Shang, gives Sabthan a mysterious blue weapon, saying he has been chosen by the goddess to receive it. The Therns, who control a powerful blue light called the Ninth Ray, decide to support Zodanga in the war, making them stronger than other creatures on Barsoom. The scene shifts to New York City in 1881, where a man named Edgar is summoned by his uncle, John Carter. Upon arriving at the station, Edgar is greeted by John's butler, who takes him to John's estate. John, a wealthy former Confederate Army captain, has recently passed away, leaving his substantial wealth to Edgar. The lawyer takes Edgar to John's mausoleum, where John's body is preserved, but the mausoleum's door only opens from the inside. The lawyer then hands Edgar a personal diary that John wanted only him to read. As Edgar begins reading, he learns that he was the only one who believed John's wild stories as a child, so John felt it right to tell him this story. The tale begins in Arizona after the Civil War. John Carter, a former Confederate Army captain, searches for gold in caves. Powell, a Union colonel, wants John to help his cavalry soldiers against the Apache, so he abducts John and tries to draft him. John, however, no longer wishes to fight as a soldier. After several failed escape attempts, John finally manages to flee by knocking out a guard and stealing the colonel's horse. The colonel and his men pursue him, and they encounter an Apache war band. During the ensuing shootout, John tries to escape but ends up helping the injured colonel to a nearby cave, where John discovers gold embedded in the roof. Inside the cave, a man appears out of nowhere. This man is one of the Therns seen earlier in the movie. After a fight, John shoots the man, who falls to the ground. As John approaches, the man mutters "Barsoom" while holding a strange medallion. When John picks up the medallion and repeats the word, a bright blue light flashes, and he finds himself in a strange desert. Confused, he tries walking but keeps falling, seemingly able to float mid-air. As he practices walking, he reaches a hill and sees several eggs hatching. Suddenly, a group of green, 6-limbed creatures riding massive animals appear. The leader attacks John, who makes a huge leap. The creatures stop firing when their leader commands. The leader, named Tars Tarkas, introduces himself, and John introduces himself as John Carter from Virginia, but the creatures think his name is Virginia. When asked to jump again, John refuses and attacks Tarkas but is eventually captured and taken hostage. Elsewhere on Barsoom, Dija, the princess of Helium, prepares to present a weapon she designed to her father, the king of Helium. Helium is on the brink of losing the war against Zodanga due to the Therns' support. Dija has discovered the secret of the Ninth Ray, which Zodanga uses in the war. However, her presentation is sabotaged, causing the weapon to explode. Zodanga's king, Sabthan, wants to marry Dija to end the war, but she vehemently opposes the idea, knowing that marriage would make Sabthan the prince of Helium and give him control over all of Barsoom. Back with the Tharks, John is placed among the newborn infants. A female Thark named Sola gives John a liquid that allows him to understand their language. The next day, the Tharks command John to jump high in front of everyone. Noticing that Tarkas has the medallion, John realizes he needs it to return home. Just then, 2 battleships appear in the sky, with Helium and Zodanga battling. The Tharks, amused, bet on the outcome. Dija fights on the ships, but she falls off during the battle. Using his newfound jumping abilities, John saves her, earning the Tharks' cheers. John and Dija fight Zodanga's soldiers together, turning the tide in favor of Helium, though their ship crashes. Dija and John find themselves with the Tharks. Impressed by John's abilities, Tarkas makes him his right-hand man. Reluctantly, John agrees. At night, Dija reveals to John that they are on Mars, known as Barsoom. John is initially skeptical, insisting he is from Earth. Dija, also incredulous, explains that his strength and ability to leap are due to his thicker bone density and the planet's low gravity. Dija then takes John to the Tharks' temple, hoping to find a way for him to return to Earth. Despite Sola's pleas to stop, Dija shows John the statue of the goddess Isis and reads the engravings, seeking answers on interplanetary travel. However, the three of them are soon captured by the Tharks and sentenced to death for entering the temple. Tarkas asks everyone to leave him alone with the prisoners in the cell to cut off John's hands. Once they are alone, he reveals that he is Sola's father and doesn't want them to die at the hands of the Tharks. He gives John his medallion and tells him to go to the river Iss to solve the mystery of the goddess Isis and return to his world. When the Tharks look into the room later, they see that Tarkas has betrayed them. Tarkas's rival, Tal Hages, takes charge and declares himself the new leader. Then we see John, Dija, and Sola heading to the river Iss. Dija is leading the way, however, Sola tells John that she is actually guiding them towards the city of Helium instead of the river. John confronts her about it, and it turns out she was taking him to her city to use him as a soldier in the war. Disappointed, John asks Sola to lead the way and leaves the princess there. Dija insists that she only did it because she doesn't want to marry Sabdan. He asks her to accompany him to the river. With no other choice, she agrees. The three sail through the river Iss and reach a massive inverted pyramid. John and Dija climb to the top and see a strange blue energy forming on the ground. Dija realizes this is the power of the ninth ray, which she had used to create her weapon. They also deduce that Carter's arrival on Mars is likely due to the transmission of a copy of himself from Earth to Mars, facilitated by the ninth ray. Just then, an army of Warhuns approaches, led by Matai Shang, the leader of the Therns. John bravely tells Dija and Sola to run and fights the Warhuns alone. The king of Helium sends his army to John's aid, who defeats the Warhuns and saves him. They take an injured John to Helium. Dija returns home and meets her father. She is surprised to see the king of Zodanga, Sabdan, there. He has come unarmed and without soldiers to ask Dija to marry him and end the war. With no other way to stop the war, Dija reluctantly agrees to marry him. In the next scene, we see John resting in a chamber in the Helium Palace. A soldier appointed by Dija fetches him and secretly takes him to her chamber. Dija asks John to return home using the medallion. When the guards enter her chamber, John disappears. Dija thinks he has gone back to Earth, but John is actually hiding from the soldiers. After they leave, he tries to sneak out but is soon caught by Matai Shang. John is astonished by Matai Shang's ability to transform into any creature around him. The whole city is preparing for the wedding of Sabdan and Dija. Matai Shang binds John to himself using technology developed by the ninth ray, rendering John unable to move of his own accord. Matai Shang seems to be controlling him with a wrist device. Matai Shang then reveals to him that Sabdan is planning to kill Dija and conquer Helium after the marriage. The Therns sided with Sabdan in the war because he was the easiest to manipulate. But Matai Shang's real goal is to rule all of Barsoom through Sabdan. Matai Shang is about to kill John when an alien dog John had befriended earlier comes to his rescue. It bites off Matai Shang's wrist device, freeing John. He rushes to a flying craft and takes off to stop Dija from marrying Sabdan. However, John doesn't know how to control the aircraft and crash lands near the Tharks' territory. They capture him along with a beaten Tarkas. Tal Hages, now the leader of the Tharks, puts John and Tarkas in an arena with massive beasts called the White Apes. John manages to capture the apes in front of the entire Thark population. He then challenges Tal Hages to a duel and defeats him effortlessly. Everyone cheers for John, who is now the new leader of the Tharks. He convinces them to help him fight the Zodanga. The Thark army and John head to Dija and Sabdan's wedding ceremony. John arrives just in time to stop the wedding. Seeing him, Sabdan tries to kill Dija, but John intervenes just in time. A battle breaks out between the soldiers of the two cities. However, the Tharks are now on Helium's side. Zodanga soon loses, but Matai Shang escapes with John's medallion. John decides to stay on Mars as Dija's husband, so he doesn't pursue the medallion. He and Dija get married, and the crowd cheers for them. He is now the Prince of Helium. The next morning, John and Dija are on a balcony. Dija leaves John outside and goes into the room when Matai Shang appears. John tries to fight him, but Matai Shang uses the medallion to send John back to Earth. When John wakes up, he is covered in dust, and his beard has grown long. He is in the same cave and sees Colonel Powell's remains, indicating that a long time has passed on Earth while he was on Mars. He searches for the medallion but can't find it, leaving him with no way to return. The gold in the cave makes him wealthy, and he knows there are more medallions on Earth. He starts a mining corporation and searches for the medallion for the next 10 years. One day, he finds a medallion at a site. John is thrilled but knows the Therns have been watching him all this time. His body on Earth must be protected when he goes to Mars, as any harm to it will cause him to die on both planets. This is why his mausoleum only opens from the inside. He had faked his death to return to Mars. John writes in the diary that he wants Edgar to protect his mausoleum from the Therns in exchange for the wealth. Edgar is shocked after reading the diary. He goes to the mausoleum and tries opening it with a secret password, which turns out to be Ned, the name John called Edgar when he was a kid. As the doors to the mausoleum open, a Thern approaches Edgar. He had been spying on Edgar, waiting to kill John. However, before he can harm Edgar, someone knocks him out from behind. Edgar is stunned to see his uncle in front of him. John takes the Thern's medallion, revealing that he had never found the medallion. All of this, including his death, was staged to attract a Thern and acquire his medallion. John then asks Edgar to protect his mausoleum from now on and goes inside it. He lies on the bed with the medallion and chants the words that will take him back to Mars again. Make sure to subscribe and hit the notification button so that you don't miss any of our video updates.